Hey guys, where are we going today? Where are we going today, buddy?
Mammoth!
Yeah! The best but worst Thanksgiving ever. Day 0, Tuesday, travel day. This Thanksgiving started off great with 1 week off from work, and I rented the Canon EOS R from Sammy's camera for a trip to Mammoth. It took 6 to 7 hours to drive from my house to our Airbnb at Mammoth. We got there pretty late because our doggies needed potty breaks and we needed to pump gas. We ate dinner at Giovanni's Pizza, settled in, and went to bed. Day 1, Wednesday, failed hike attempt. After the long drive, we slept in pretty late, and our day started with a trip to get brunch at Tommy's. The food was good, and their appetizer was a full meal for me. Tamarack Lodge was our next destination, where we planned to hike the Horseshoe Lake, but failed to do so because it was a further hike than expected. Instead, I tested the Canon EOS R with my legacy lenses via the adapter and the rented Canon RF 24-105mm f4 lens. Check out the results of my testing. What do you think of the images? Leave your comments below. Later that evening, we went to Vaughn's to buy groceries, cooked, and ate our dinner. Then took the dogs out to potty before we go to bed. To our surprise, it started snowing. Day 2, Thursday. Change of landscape, Mammoth Lake, and reshoot at Tamarack Lodge. The next morning, we witnessed the landscape change from brown and green to white and green. It's amazing to actually witness a complete weather change for the first time in my life with my wife and her brother. My brother did not have snowshoes, so we took him to rent some. Then, off we went to adventure at Shady Rest Park, where I flew my drone to capture myself, acting like a child, making snow angels as my wife walked the doggies. We also did a little hiking too, and took some photos in a quiet part of the park. Look, even the doggies faced the same way for the selfie. Afterwards, we decided to drive to Mammoth Lake and then eat at Wonelli Deli for lunch. It was recommended by my coworker and many friends. At Mammoth Lake, we walked through mud and took many photos. After our quick professional selfies, we went to Wonelli Deli hoping to get food there, but sadly, it was closed. So we had to drive back to Mammoth, where we grabbed a quick lunch at Carl's Jr. and shopped at Vaughn's to prep for our Thanksgiving dinner. After eating lunch at our Airbnb, my wife and I decided to go back to Tamarack Lodge and reshoot in the same location we shot yesterday. What do you think of the change in landscape? Do you prefer snow, no snow, or both? Leave comments down below. After our adventurous reshoot, we ate and went to bed to rest up for the next day. Day 3, Friday. Hot Creek Geological Site and final family photo session. Today we visited the Hot Creek Geological Site that was about a 20-minute drive from where we stayed. The hike to the Hot Creek was very quick, probably less than a 5-minute hike downhill. We hiked for another 5 minutes from the hot creek and got to a dead end. Then hiked back up to our car. That's when I decided to fly my drone and have it track my car as we roam around on the empty road. However, we hit a geofence and the drone could not follow anymore. Don't worry, the drone stayed about 20 feet high and was not in the way of any aircrafts nor flying over any other cars. I respect the flight rules.
I landed the drone on the car! This is dope! I was running out of battery, that's why.
We drove for about 15 to 20 minutes and came to this stretch of road where we decided to take photos. We were there taking photos and dodging cars that drove by for about an hour or so. Then, we headed back to get some Mexican food from Latin Market, ate, and chillaxed at the condo. My brother ate some very spicy chili. Check out his reaction.
He's letting it burn.
Well, he ate this. He
2
only
minutes ago.
ate that much, right?
Yeah, it's like a bite.
I ate a whole one.
Oh my gosh. He's doing the usher right now. Let it burn, let it burn, gotta let it burn.
Later that night, I wanted to take a photo of the nearly full moon with some clouds over the town. But I failed because I waited too long and the moon rose too high. The only way to get the moon in the frame was to use a fisheye lens. My widest lens could not do the job. So I drove back to drown my sorrows with a cup of Martinelli apple cider. Cheers. Day 4, Saturday, the worst part, and coming home. Since I couldn't get the night shot I wanted, I decided to make a Canon EOS R time-lapse tutorial. That's when I underestimated the wind and it blew down my tripod setup, breaking the Canon RF 24-105 lens. This was a very expensive rental. The camera body was scratched and cracked, but it still worked. So I completed my tutorial recording the time-lapse with an adapter and wide-angle lens, the Canon 10 to 18 millimeters. I refused to give up, so here's the most expensive 5 seconds time-lapse ever. With a heavy heart, I drove back to the Airbnb to face my wife. I told her what happened and asked her if she's mad at me. She simply replied, "I think you are more mad." And she is spot on with that remark. I basically am buying a camera that I'm not sure I even wanted. Anywho, we packed the car, said goodbye to Bradley, and started driving home. The drive was smooth, but the next terrible thing happened. I'll let my past self tell you what happened.
While driving down the 395 and going downhill and I wasn't paying attention to my speed, I got a speeding ticket. That sucked. What happened was I was discussing with my wife and my brother-in-law regarding this place right here. Eric Schatz Bakery. That's what we were talking about, and I wasn't paying attention to my speed going downhill. I passed the officer and he pulled me over. He wrote me down for 87 miles per hour, so thanks a lot, Eric Schatz. Whatever you do, pay attention to while you're driving downhill because you can speed up really fast and not know it, especially when you're holding a, I guess, kind of deep conversation.
Well, we're all home safe now, and that's the best and worst Thanksgiving ever. It was the best because we visited some cool places, watched the landscape change colors, and got many great photos. But the worst part was breaking the lens and getting a speeding ticket. However, the bestest part is hearing my wife say to me, "I think you're more mad." I felt like the luckiest man to have such a loving and understanding wife. She didn't make the situation any worse. She made it the bestest Thanksgiving ever. I love you, buddy. Breaking camera gears and getting a traffic ticket is expensive, but creating wonderful memories with you is priceless. Until our next adventure. If you can, please use affiliate links in the description below to support this channel. And don't make the mistake I did. Drive safely, everybody. I love you all too.